Hey everybody, welcome back to Whack Roll Vagabonds. My name is Luke, I'm your GM, and you're a psychopath who bakes for money.
Hello, my name's Tom, I play the half-elf sorcerer Faelark, and the heat is killing me, but I can't open my windows because there is a screaming child outside.
Hi, my name's Dora, I play Philippe, and I had an intro planned and I've just forgotten it. That's the intro. I can't remember what it was anymore.
That's today's mood.
I'm so unwell today.
And I'm Al. I've lost all my waking hours to mining out planets until they are depleted, and I play Gran.
Hang on.
Okay then.
Every time Al has an intro, I have to just pause us and ask what she's on about.
Do you have to? Can you not just accept the nonsense?
So, end of last session, we saw you guys heading northward from the Hag's Cave, from these Maidens of the Mire. Now, what will happen is, we're going to say that you guys traveled northward to go around the swamp controlled by Grania, and then traveled a little bit backwards to make sure you secure Theb's bike from Multon, and then you are going to be traveling northwards. Now, last time we left off, you guys had just learned about Baron Awdern and the fact that he is also apparently securing artifacts regarding Elysium. Is there anything that you guys would want to discuss while you're traveling?
I don't think so.
Around this time, we're getting a little late on in the day. You eventually make your way out of the Haglands and this foresty neck, and you make your way towards the great golden plains of Daleen. You find yourself in this beautifully paved roads, no longer dirt tracks through swamps and forests, but rather well carved out, fenced off, winding through golden fields of grains and other well-kept vegetable farms. I think at that point, Theb kind of looks at a watch and then says, "It is getting late. We need to get to work figuring out where this Baron person is, what the fuck he wants with Elysium. There's this farming town nearby. I've stayed there before. It'll be fine. Is that all right?"
I guess so. I think Faelark's still kind of rubbing his new nose, hopefully I won't be recognised quite as easily as I might have been before.
And a genie does come out of it and grant you no wishes. So.
Oh my god. You sneeze out a gin.
He's just a prick of a genie.
He's just in there.
But by the way, just considering with I think the theme of the moment has been deep dark truths and terrible secrets and the like.
Oh no, what is it now, Faelark?
Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, not a big one, but so yeah, just in the interest of being clean, this fellow we're after, I kind of know him. I mean, I say know him. I know him in the way that you would know the horse and cart that ran over your whole family. Does that make sense? No, look, okay, listen, basically he executed a bunch of my friends before I met you guys.
To be frank, it did make sense.
Metaphors are hard. Look, I don't know what he's doing, what his overall plan is. I thought he was just sort of like a cop, but yeah, he murdered my whole family, basically. Still sort of processing that one, if I'm honest. Kind of been avoided it.
Philippe's just gonna sort of pat Faelark. Pat.
I think Faelark's just looking dead ahead forward, but just sort of nods along with it.
I think as you say it, Theb kind of goes, "I'm sorry to hear that, Faelark, if it's any consolation. I kind of know how that feels. Same, but with Grania." And then she kind of looks dead ahead and says nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks as much.
Sounds like Feb.
I mean, just a big fan of that whole found family trope, so at least I've had another go around at it.
The group of you agree to travel towards a small town nearby. It takes you maybe another 40 minutes or so on the road, but eventually you see the village in question. It's a town nestled in amongst the fields with a few orchards around and hills and grain for miles. It's near enough the coast that you can hear the faint smell of the ocean.
I can hear the faint smell of the ocean.
Did I actually say that?
Yeah.
You're fired, Tom.
No.
You've got to be fair, Faelark has synesthesia, so I'm correct.
Yeah. Let's
Shit.
go with that.
It's not a very large town, maybe around 40 to 50 houses. There's a small marketplace where people sell very simple wares, and it's all centered around a temple. As you are getting close, Faelark, you recognize this town. It's called Caius Hill. Faelark, how does it feel to see this town again?
Well, just out of character as Tom, this sounds exactly like where I want to be right now. I want the sea. I
Near
long
a
for the sea.
breezy sea.
I wish to dip my toes in the salty waves. It's definitely nostalgic. I think like seeing it on the horizon is kind of like, I guess like for any of us, it'd be like seeing like the Wallace Monument on the when you've been away for a while or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a familiar skyline, which immediately kind of makes it reminds him very quickly that he's not seen it in a long time.
You guys roll into town, and I think that again, Theb parks her bike nearby at an inn called the Last Marlin, and she kind of looks at you guys, says, "I can get us a couple of rooms. Is there anything you guys need or want or anything?"
Is this... I'm sorry. Is it marlin as in Brando or as in swordfish?
As in swordfish.
Okay. I had to know.
There was only one left. Someone's been playing with decorations in Animal Crossing.
Eh?
Fuck you. I have a giant blue marlin in Animal Crossing. That's where I got the name. Thanks for calling me out, Tom.
That's all I
You
like,
pull
so-
inspiration from the world around you. It's a good trait to have.
I'm curious about the temple. I just like I like fantasy religions and pantheons and shit.
Cool, give me a religion check then.
Oh, yeah, that's not great. It's 5.
5.
Since I'm familiar with the town, can I help?
Yeah, you can give assistance, which would give her advantage.
Okay, so what am I rolling for that?
Nothing. You just automatically help.
Hooray!
Okay, Al, take a reroll.
Help.
Oh, now that's 9.
If anyone else wants to roll it, they can.
Yeah, sure. Is
Do
it
I
religion?
have
Yeah.
to know religion to see a building? Really?
14.
14.
Let's-
You can see the building. It's quite a humble little temple. It's
Oh, I was
not like
gonna
a...
roll.
Give me a roll.
Yeah. Sorry, get a Velcro.
Wasn't prepared.
Complains about not rolling, then makes unpleasant sound in my ear.
How do you roll Velcro dice?
Very slowly. Surely you just like throw it at like a Velcro sheet on a wall and see which number faces you.
That's
Well,
a good idea. That's
Oh
top
god, I
business.
want to do
I
that.
know more than Gran. I got a 12.
Hey.
The DC to pass was 10. So sorry. I think what will happen is with a roll of dying and a DC power to pass of 10, you know that it's the God of Storms and you can't figure out the name of them, but the other two of you will know it's Talos, Talos. The building itself is a reasonably large building, but you feel like, given its quite humble nature, it's mostly like a very simple stone and wooden structure. It's more likely that it is also doubling as a town hall and other such like commodities, with just sections in there to pray.
Okay, cool.
It's not uncommon to see temples to the God of Storms in coastal towns, especially those with any sort of fishing trade.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or perhaps on sea merchantry.
I think Faelark like nudges Philippe and says, "Looks like Hul here has got a bit of competition here."
That was her name.
Has 0 competition. No one can beat her.
I was not expecting you to be that defensive. I do apologise.
Goodness me, we are just like yelling that my god can beat your god right in the church, huh?
Are you actually going to be going into the church?
No, no, I like Gran isn't as nosy as I am about architecture.
Nah, I don't think Faelark is like saying he wants to do anything in particular. I think if anything, he might like cloak up and go for a wander around some of the old streets and stuff, like back alleys and things he might have frequented.
Sure. And I guess, like, are you trying to do that alone?
I think he's just gonna like You guys mind if I just slip out for a bit?
Feel
I know
free.
it sounds weird considering we've been on the road for ages, but I could use a bit of air.
Aren't we outside?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were in the inn.
So Theb went in to book the rooms and kind of left
Okay.
you guys to your devices.
Yeah, I just need a bit of headspace.
Far be it from me to stop you.
I'll be back in like 10. Don't worry about it. I think there was a bar or something down here I used to go to. I want to see if it's still around.
Once he's out of earshot, I just turn to Philippe and say, he just tries so hard to be mysterious.
He's sad. It's all been a bit much lately.
I think that, Faelark wanders off, cloak up, new nose. And I think that you guys, do you two want to do anything, or are you guys just happy to go in and
Settle.
join Theb in the inn?
Yeah, I don't have any plans, but I would not want to leave Philippe alone if he did want to do something.
Philippe wouldn't have plans other than, like, finding the nearest sweet shop or something.
Okay.
New place. New sweets.
You don't...
It's probably a little bit late for sweet shops,
Oh.
Aw.
but like tomorrow for sure.
Yay.
That's probably the exact conversation.
Yeah.
It's too late for the sweeties, sweetheart. Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
You guys head into the inn. I think that as you do, Theb's kind of like at the counter talking to an elderly human man, and I think she looks over to you guys and goes, "Oh, hi, good timing. I've got us 2 rooms. It'll be me and Gran in one, Philippe and Faelark in the other."
And I have to deal with Faelark's angst.
This is so mean.
And I think she kind of looks at you guys and goes like, "Where is he?"
Being mysterious. Woo!
Oh yeah, he said there was an old pub he wanted to visit.
And I think that she's like, "Whatever floats his boat." And then I think that unless any of you are like wanting to say anything or do anything, I think you guys will probably order like a cheap like inn dinner and kind of like just settle in for the night.
Yes, retire for the evening.
Faelark, you wander around this town and
Genuinely, kind of in kin with what Philippe was saying, I was going to go get presents.
Oh, yay.
sure,
I'm excited.
Like, legit, he's feeling really fucking sentimental, I think. Like, considering everything that's happened, and we've just been on the road for a long time, kind of all processing that together. And I think he just kind of wants to, like, mark the occasion, if that makes sense.
Sure. I think as you make your way through this town, like you remember where the old market district was?
Yeah.
It's like there's like a square just behind the temple, and as you get there, there are a few merchants still like settling out. They're sort of like moving their stock aside and starting to like pack up stalls when you arrive.
Yeah. I think he's looking for... I think maybe he's casting his eye around, and there's maybe like some food stalls that are closing up, and he's like, no, there'll be food in the inn. Gran's got all the sweets. Don't want any more sugar for Philippe.
My sweets are magical, he should not have them.
I think he's looking for, like, you know when you go to, like, places like Whitby or, like, seaside towns like that, and they have market stalls with, like, sort of, like, cheapo leatherworks or little jewellery stands and things like that.
Yeah.
He's basically looking for friendship bracelets.
Yeah, you could definitely... Like, I think there's like an old... let me pick a race. Ooh, it's the hardest part of LD&D. There's an old Dragonborn lady sitting there, and she's sitting nearby Tannery Booth.
It's Findalego's mum.
It is not Lindalego.
Yes!
That was off the top of my head,
Very good.
and also very canon.
Yay!
That was
I
beautiful.
do. I checked. I do apologise for the waveform I just made, but that was it. You tickled me.
Okay, so the Dragonborn lady kind of looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, we're closing up shop."
I think he's like not putting on a voice necessarily, but he's not delivering his usual tones, if that makes sense. He's just kind of mumbling a bit. So I won't be long. I just Can I just have a quick look at what you've got left for the day? A few last coins before you head home.
She kind of shrugs, and then she's just like putting away a couple things in a box, and she kind of like puts out a couple of chests on the table, opens them up. It is mostly like leather jewelry. It's like mostly like strips of leather, dyed beads, bits of shell, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And could you please give me a deception check with advantage?
Deception. And 16.
16. She got a 17.
Oh,
I think
no!
if you do,
You
she kind of
bitch!
squints. Yeah, I just rolled really well. She just sort of squints at you and she's like, say, your face. Have you been around these parts before?
No, not really. It's just sort of, I just travelling with a few pals here and there, dotting around, kind of wanted to swing by and check out some of the markets. Is stuff open again tomorrow, or?
She nods. She says, you're every day apart from the last.
Oh, good. Sorry. There's a few more of us with a bit more coin still to come as well, We're just kind of on a bit of a sightseeing tour, bought a bit of cash with us, just wanted to see what we could pick up. I'm kind of hoping to distract her with the idea of profit.
Uh-huh. I think she kind of nods and she's like, you look awfully familiar. It's, never mind. I'm praying.
Don't worry about it. I mean,
She kind of nods towards the boxes, but I think you are very aware that she's taking her eyes off of your face. She's constantly like,
yeah,
I know you, but like she doesn't mind as much. She's kind of like,
didn't quite get it. Yeah, okay.
God, where do I know you from?
I think he's gonna like be lowering his head, but like to look at the jewelry, but I guess with the intention of like the brim of his hat covering his face. I guess he's just looking like for similar looking items that will make a nice sort of
Set.
like say, just a wee set.
yeah, for sure. She has like, let's say like, she has like a stand, like one of those like spinning stands with around 10 bracelets on it, all different colors and like similar designs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And she's like, they're 2 silver a piece.
Brilliant. I think he selects like a green one for Gran, a blue one for Philippe, and like a burgundy one for himself, and like a purpley one for Feb, I guess.
Every colour is Philippe's signature colour.
That's true.
He's
That's
a
why it's
painter.
difficult.
Well, we already committed
all
to the
colours.
cool end of the colour spectrum, so blue it is.
Cool.
And I
She
think
happily take.
he just counts the coin out and pops it down on the table. Says, but I'll probably see you tomorrow."
She nods. She's like, thank you kindly.
And I think he just sort of like hurries his way back to the tavern, realizing it probably wasn't the best idea to come straight out.
Oh, now you realise.
I think he was just sort of pulled by nostalgia. I don't want to just hide in the tavern.
You kind of make your way back to tavern. The crew are sitting there having dinner, and like I think that when you walk in, Feb kind of like makes eye contact and then like catches the attention of one of the bar staff, kind of points at like what they have on the table, and then like obviously ordering you your own meal.
Nice. He'll take a seat with the group. Say, thanks for getting me in. Cheers. How are we?
Good. Did you have a good wander? And was that pub still open?
Yeah. Look, I don't know. It's silly. I just thought I thought it'd be nice. He just takes out the wee bracelets and sort of hands them around. It just says, since I found out we were coming after since we were, we know what we're here for. It had me thinking, and I won't lie. It took me a little while to feel kind of like at home again. But at the campsite the other night, I felt it. So I kind of wanted to just commemorate that. Just my own little way of saying thanks. And
You wee soul.
I care about you all right?
I think Thab kind of looks and goes like, even me.
Yeah, Feb. We
After everything we've been through.
We went through something back there, man.
She shrugs and's like, yeah, we certainly did. I just thought that maybe, I've not been the most, thank you and sorry. Then she just sheepishly puts the bracelet on and shuts up.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but you know what? I don't think I've always been the most forthcoming person myself sometimes. I think, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I might have the tendency to be a little mysterious,
Oh, yes.
The entire party.
I know I'm just an enigma, everybody, but I'm really trying to connect.
I think that's it, and he's totally not self-aware about it.
The entire party just sort of office stares directly into the camera.
Okay. Then, I think we are going to time skip forwards to the next day. Now, I think as you kind of start to get up, similar scene to your dinner last night, breakfast in the inn. I think Theb kind of like leans in a little bit, making sure you're in a quiet corner of the bar, and kind of says, all right, so we have a couple of things we really should sort of figure out before we move. We need to know where the Baron is and what he wants with Elysium. I don't know if this town is going to be the best place to investigate such things, but there's way too much heat in Daleen itself. This is going to be a good starting point, I guess.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, but I think I had a bit of a close call getting recognised last night as well, actually.
Might we have to do a little more to help disguise you? Should I do some more sort of makeup again?
Would you like to lose an eye?
Jagger's just got a knife now. Sorry, Grant's just got a knife.
Not a knife, a spoon.
Oh my.
A little cocktail sword.
I always had a knife.
I'm gonna say no.
Well,
I might
if you
need
change your
that.
mind.
I might need that one. I've still got to have at least one good feature left. No, look, I've managed to move around the towns around here before without being spotted too often. I should be okay, but I'm going to be trying to stay out of the limelight, So if dealing with important NPCs, maybe you guys take that angle.
Maybe we cover you up and say you're mute.
That's a good idea, actually. That could work. We can make me look proper threatening and everything.
And we
that's
can
not
come
where
up.
I was going with it.
We could come up with some sort of fake gesture sign language to make it seem like you're talking with us, and that will be so much fun to do.
Oh man, actually, this sounds great. I love a bit
Great.
of roleplay.
So I love the logic of I love a bit of roleplay. He says, dedicating his character to complete silence for a while.
Just to be fair, that is pushing Faelark.
So, is there anywhere you guys want to investigate? As I say, there's two big pieces of information you need to know. Big one is where the Baron is and where you can find him, and the second one is what he wants with Elysium.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the one that will attract the least amount of suspicion is just asking the locals about where we could find the Baron. Where do I go to complain about the bureaucracy of local government?
A town hall.
Exactly.
My tall mute son was harassed.
As a team, you guys make your way to the town hall then. Is that what we're agreeing on?
Yes. Yes?
Yeah, and I think I will have got Philippe to maybe do a wee bit of makeup. Make me look all scarred and disfigured and cool.
Cool. More so than normal. Grand. So, you guys make your way towards that temple town hall. Streets are a little bit busier, but no one seems to be paying you any attention. Most of this town is working people. You got the people who run the stalls around the back. That's mostly going to be the women of the town. Meanwhile, some of the men, they either work in a nearby factory, or they work as fishermen, or they tend the fields around. So there's a lot of work going on. So during the day, not going to be that busy, but there are still a few people milling around, especially the old.
Yay! My people!
The old, woo!
You guys make your way towards the town hall. I think, as I say, it's a temple as well. I think that when you do, there is a half-elf attendee. They are half drow with quite grey skin and like quite grey hair. Maybe in like their late 30s, and I think when you approach him, he just kind of looks at you and goes, hello, welcome to our fine little town. I don't think I recognise any of you. Pray tell, what are you here for?
Oh, we're just passing through. We were looking to maybe learn a bit about the local culture and the... no, words have escaped me. Sorry, someone else. Learn about the local culture and politics, mayhaps.
Well, if it's learning that you're wishing for, may I recommend? And he kind of like gestures towards a nearby door and says, the western wing of our tiny little building here is dedicated to a small library. I'm sure the information you wish to find is there.
Oh, thank you very much. You've been very helpful. What's your name?
Bad sir, no. People call me Wood.
Ah, well, Wood, should the opportunity ever arise for me to submit an employee recommendation, your name will be on the tip of my tongue.
He smiles like very shyly. He's like, have a wonderful day, madame.
And also with you.
He was much nicer than the other library man.
He's just the clerk. He doesn't run the library.
Oh,
great.
We all scurry behind Gran, clutching our plastic disposable cameras.
I am heading this tour.
We are tourists.
You guys open the door to the library. When you do, you are hit by the sound of music. From somewhere within the library, you can hear quite like jaunty flute music. It's a very pleasant tune to most of you, but Faelark, it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Oh, it's Bubblegum KK.
Oh my god.
No, it's a traditional folktale.
Okay.
Faelark, you know it as the story of Hans the Hulk. It's a dumb story of a brute with a heart of gold that was so strong he was scared to hug anyone, even other orcs, in fear of like breaking them in half. He eventually found love in the form of a halfling. They loved each other unbearably, but couldn't touch due to Hans's concerns, and one day Hans's lover vanished, leaving only a note that said, "Wait for me." That's how the story ends. So, you know the story, Faelark, because it's one that your troupe used to perform.
Yeah.
It is a very traditional orc story, only really known by orcs, and it's definitely a song that hits you quite close.
It's sad because like he remembers like playing like his troupe performing to this song and stuff.
I've never heard this song, but it sounds nice.
It's a bop. Faelark with his voice crack under breath. Yeah, it's a bop. Slaps, bro. But it's still just a song. Like, he's not going to get too worked up over it or anything, yeah?
Hey, is that a fucking read?
No, I mean... I think he's just like... It's been a while. He's heard songs in the time between, and he's used to not letting them be too... If he teared up every time he heard a song he knew, he'd get a bit, you know...
That still feels like a read.
Yeah, exactly!
I can't remember the last time I watched a movie and didn't cry because I really got into the soundtrack.
Oh my god.
So, I think you have a moment where you really like get this like wash of nostalgia harder than just when you walked into town. And then you kind of like, you tell yourself obviously like to shake it off. And then you kind of walk a little bit further into the library, and there he is. Someone you recognize, not just like in passing, but it's one of the first times you've seen one of your family in a long time, as Jeek the orc is sitting there.
Do you reveal yourself immediately?
I think he probably does a little bit.
Reveals
I don't know.
yourself a little bit.
Luke, can you make me roll something? Because I don't know. Like some
Roll
sort of...
Constitution to keep your cool.
I'm going to do it for myself because I genuinely don't know what would happen. I'm just going to roll on fucking... I'm just going to roll on wisdom and see what happens. I think he starts just to be... he takes a second, pauses, quiet, and just says quietly, almost to himself, just...
I think the older orc doesn't hear you over the sound of their playing. They're quite engrossed in their music. They always were.
Jeek? Yeah,
And
fuck it.
they stop. Jeek is 6 foot and is what is known in most orcish communities as a runt. Most orcs are born tough, but Jeek has quite this slim frame and has a bit of a hunched back. But you know Jeek, despite a bit of a rough exterior, he always had a real specialty with children. During the troops' shows, he often had a side tent pitched where he would tell stories to younger children, and they would gather around him, and he would regale them with stories of heroes and monsters. In terms of how he looks, he's quite, as I say, 6 foot tall. He has grey skin with large scars across his arms and a couple of his face, which is where he got clan tattoos removed, where he in essence severed his ties to his orcish communities. His hair is bright white and kept pulled back in a top knot. As an orc, he should have tusks from his bottom jaw, but it seems like he files them down to keep himself more approachable. I think that Jeek kind of stops playing his flute and kind of looks towards you and is like, I'm sorry, sir, do I... Faelark? Hey everybody, welcome to that awkward middle bit of the podcast. First and foremostly, thank you all for listening. Hope you're all enjoying the arc so far. We're about to get into some pretty good plot stuff, I have to say. As per normal, you can of course follow us on Instagram and Twitter at wackaroll. And if you have any feedback for us, just send us an email to wackaroll@gmail.com. Any and all of those will get you get your name added to a pool for us to use for potential NPCs. I flounder for NPCs, hence the fact that I named a character Wood today. But yeah, I really do hope you're enjoying it. Please share this with anyone you think might be interested, and send us any and all feedback you may have. These sort of things, these little bits of engagement, really help a podcast like ours. But that's enough for me. I'm going to let you get back to the show. Toodles!
Faelark's immediately wait a minute, this is I don't want people yelling my name at me in public. Is this a busy library?
It does not seem like it's not a big library at all. It's it's 2 rooms off the side of a church. Does not look like anyone else is here. And you handily closed the door behind you when you entered.
Yeah, I don't know Pig Latin, so I can't use that.
Just run up and shush him.
I think, yeah, I run up and shush him, but I'm also kind of hugging him. He has one hand on his lips and one hand just sort of kind of just hovering over him before he goes into a hug, I guess.
I think that Jeek instantly takes up the hovering hand and just grabs you, almost cracks bones with how tightly he holds you.
Oh no, how many hit points do I lose?
85 for 1,000.
Oh,
no,
man. My face.
When your bones crack, you feel better, duh.
Oh.
Yeah, feels pretty good. He's good at that.
Oh, this is a healing moment. Does my AC increase?
No.
Do I gain better dexterity?
Yeah. Jeek's kind of you son of a bitch. I thought you were dead. We all thought you were dead.
Maybe, for a few people, I think I might prefer it if thoughts stayed in that direction. But I thought you were dead. Guys, come over here.
We go over there.
Hello, my name is Philippe.
when you introduce yourself, Philippe, he kind of she really bows down towards you and is Philippe, it's a pleasure. Any friend of this ragamuffin is a friend of Jeek's. And then holds out their hands and goes, oh, gives them a little shake around, and then there's a lollipop in one of them.
I feel like when he gives it a shake and ties Philippe's entire body just like shakes up and down because
Yeah.
Philippe is more than a foot smaller than this boy, even if he's a runt.
Yeah. But you have a lollipop now.
Yay! What flavour?
Cherry.
Pork.
Fuck you, cherry flavoured things are
No.
the best.
It's fine, but you know, Philippe will enjoy it either way.
Just like the idea that Philippe's just like, an avocado!
Thanks.
Yeah, guys, this is Jeek. He was part of my troupe. Yeah, remember the ones that I thought were dead? And he's saying that, he's kind of like tilted head looking at Jeek with his eyebrows raised like, yeah, the people I thought were dead. What's that about?
Well, not all of us have. And I think he kind of looks towards the rest of your team, Faelark, and is like, how much do they know about the night in question?
I think I've come clean by this point.
Philippe is a bit-
Did I explain?
Faelark is a mysterious man.
He is an enigma who tells us nothing.
And he's got his eyes closed and like a hand over his mouth, like, yes, I am. It's very, very.
I think she kind of kind of shrugs it off and says, there was an accident at our circus. But it's hard to say whether or not it was an accident or not. But in the aftermath, there was a death. And the family of the deceased held our people very, very responsible. We couldn't defend ourselves.
I think quite sheepishly, Felix, I was gonna tell you, you'll agree, we've been busy.
All those camps that we had together where I was just talking on and on and on about spending 5 years in the Feywilds, and you deigned to interrupt me 0 times.
Oh yeah, she did that. That's a good story. Pick
We
that
do
one
not
up.
have time.
Pick that one up, Bard.
Absolutely, he's like very interested. Like, oh, I love her story. I think he kind of like says there were 2 of our people, Petrovich and Brahms, and Faelark was also assisting in the trick in question. They were taken to the gallows, and a lot of our people were to be imprisoned. It happened not far from this little town, but the people here are kind. They hid who they could, myself included, and a few others.
I've been trying to find you.
I think he kind of like looks a bit sheepish and says, I would have tried to find you too, apart from a few rumours. The general consensus, feel like, was that you died that night with Petrovich and Brahm. Wait, if you're alive, and you see the hope flicker up in his eyes,
I think he just shakes his head.
you see like the heartbreak hit him, and he's like, it was foolish of me to hope.
Yeah, if I'm honest, big guy, I still don't really know how I got out of there. I think he prestidigitates a little in his hand, like a little pinkish spark or something. But it's like, got magic out of it. That's kind of what's been happening with me.
He kind of goes, you couldn't do magic before. You did much better as a performer if you could have done magic.
Hey,
He gives you like
my card tricks were baller.
Can I just be reactionarily be staring at Faelark, being like, how the hell did this bitch think he could? You weren't even born into magic. You didn't even learn how to do magic. I'm just staring at him like gobsmacked. Like, how could you not realize you pissed off or made a deal with some fey creature? You absolute fuckwit.
Is Grant saying that?
With my eyes, silently, like, what?
I'm loving this so much.
Hey, look, I don't know how I do it either. I'm just that good.
Jeek kind of looks and goes like, oh, that's remarkable. Look, a few of us stayed here, but I'm the last one still here. A lot of the troop that you know and love. To my counting, now excluding you, I guess, 5 of the troop were executed. The rest were imprisoned somewhere.
Well, that's still more alive than I had previously thought.
I will say though, Faelark, you're being told right now that only 5 other members of your troop, 6 if you include Fitzpatrick,
Oh yeah.
were executed. You definitely saw more than 6. in your vision.
Back in the desert with the necromancers.
But did you see
No, you did not see Jeek.
Zeke? Thank you. Driving me nuts.
Jeek, yeah. It's spelt Xic, but pronounced Jeek.
Yeah.
Like Jeek. So,
Jeek, I think it might be a little more than that.
I think Jeek's like, oh, well, I'm not...
There's kind of a whole story to that, and I'll tell you later, alright?
Jeek nods and is like, it's been a long time. I've been searching for them for as long as I can remember. And I think he kind of like takes a quick like peeler over some of the book stacks to double check if anyone else is around. And when he sees the coast is clear, opens a drawer in his in a desk nearby that was locked, and he kind of like flicks the lock with a little magic and then opens it up. And there's a lot of documents in there. I tried to source the official prisoner admission paperwork from around that time. Faelark, did the accident ever seem strange to you?
Petrovich and Brahms and I, while we were being carted off to the gallows, we tried to run through every possible scenario in our heads, but you know how many times we've done that trick, like.
And I know, Faelark, and I trust the three of you. Faelark, you were there for some of the trials, correct?
One or two. It's a bit of a blur.
What was the name of the victim?
Oh man, you can't just ask me that. Shit. Me as Tom, we can't remember.
That's because there isn't one.
Oh.
Sorry, Tom. We've never agreed on a name for them.
Oh shit. Okay, that's good. So I haven't forgotten.
Yaga was the victim, and now she doesn't have a name, so you forgot the name. But it's all tied together.
The Baron is Philippe. Kappa is Medi. No.
Yes.
No. I don't think whoever the victim was, I don't remember that getting brought up. It was very much kind of just prosecution.
Jake's eyes like widen. They kind of like pull out a bit of paper, and it's logs from your trial.
Ooh.
It says the only thing that ever got mentioned was the name of a wronged party. I do not know who died in that accident, and I didn't get this through legal means. But
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm not exactly in a position to judge.
he pulls out a bit of parchment, and it's very old and official looking, covered in seals and signatures of approval. It reads, "Our esteemed Baron, after deliberation, we've agreed to your proposal. The prisoners may be moved to Gaul. Kindest regards, the Council." Does this mean anything to you?
Do you happen to know the name of the Baron?
This is the only document I have. Why?
The whole point, the whole reason we're here at the moment.
Yes, the plot.
Is looking for. Yes, the plot is looking for a local Baron. Does the name Baron Awdern mean anything to you?
Awdern, you say? And he's trying to remember something, and then he kind of clicks his fingers like, I was at the inn recently, the last Marlin. Chen. Oh man, lovely fellow.
Yeah, we just got rooms there.
He was, coincidence. I think Chen said he heard from Raphael, who said Ilya the boat lady got paid a lot by a mysterious gentleman last week, who she swears was the Baron.
Yeah, for a minute there, I thought you were going to say that it was staying in the room next to us, and that would have been a whole thing. I'm really glad.
That would have been the end of this town, as the entire town gets fireballed.
I suppose the clerk outside won't know who the Baron is either.
He's a local official. Don't get me wrong, he is exactly who he says he is. He is a Baron. He operates just outside of Daleen, in one of their richer districts.
We've got reason to believe that he might be dabbling in some mystical, arcane goods.
And not the good kind.
And not the good kind of goods.
You don't say.
Yeah, that's kind of why we're on the trail. Or at least that's the main reason.
Jeek doesn't go into his secret folder in the desk, but rather finds a bit of parchment nearby and unrolls it. and it's a map of the area. So I'm getting my map. Yeah. So the town you're in, Caius Hill, is on the the southeast of this part of the continent, and as I said previously, it's a coastal town. A little north of it, there's actually an island, after which this town is named. Due to the fact the map that Jeek has pulled out is a little old, but there's a castle-like structure on the island a little north called Lord Caius's Academy for the Practicing Arcane.
Oh my.
Oh.
Could you all please give me a history check?
It's only a 12.
20 non-nat.
Luke, I have to say, you need to let me name your gerbils now. Nat 20. Dab.
Yeah, boy!
Hey!
We did not agree to that.
We did not agree to that.
But we said it enough times that it's true.
Yes.
We've spoken it into existence.
Philippe, I think it's the sort of story that gets retold in playgrounds and stuff like that. Because there used to be a school called Lord Caius's Academy for the Practicing Arcane. But a long, long time ago, just after the time of the Great War, I think maybe you've written like a fucking essay on it, because in this world, I imagine it as a tragedy akin to like that of the Titanic. This huge, massive,
Boy.
defining event in this world. One day, it used to be this old boarding school for those looking to hone arcane abilities. One day, it just exploded. No one really knows what happened. The general consensus is that a student grew too strong and couldn't control their abilities, but there's no evidence to back these claims. Philippe, you know, as it's kind of used as like campfire stories, like horror stories of the creature that destroyed Caius's Academy. But the truth is, you've heard multiple tellings of this story. You do not know exactly what happened, but a magical blast erupted that school.
And he says he's never played Dragon Age.
Obviously, relay that to the others.
I mean, I also knew this. I got a non-nat 20. I'm not a fucking dumbass.
Faelark never went to school. He doesn't know what a school is.
we relay it to Faelark.
And I think that I definitely like the idea of I need to give Philippe something better for getting a nat 20. I think that what happens is when you tell the story, like you get this big beaming smile from Sheik, and Sheik's like, "What a remarkably smart child you have here, Faelark. Here, fresh tray of baked cookies for you."
Goodness me, where did you get those?
He just had those.
Philippe has
He just had those.
just worked off all the berries from the first arc. And now he's getting spoiled.
We are not coming back to this library. You are being spoiled.
Oh.
I think when Gran's like that, Jeek just kind of looks at Philippe and says, "You're welcome anytime, Philippe. I make a mean banana bread." Oh.
Banana bread is my favourite.
Well, there we go. We now know Philippe's favourite.
Oh, you just wait till you see this kid get on the warm honey water. Mental. I've never seen anybody else ever drink warm honey water in my life. I think he made it up, but he fucking loves it.
I think after all that, cookies and warm honey waters have been poured out, and then I think that Jake kind of sits down again and is like, "Have any of you heard of this gold place?"
18?
No.
Was that on history, yeah?
Yes.
That's 19.
Oh, fuck you.
1918?
You just have to keep doing better than me the whole time. These are my good days.
It's because I want to name one of Luke's gerbils.
Gerbils.
It's not happening. Throughout any studies that you've had about geography, new or old, of not just the Daleen, but the entire continent, neither of you have ever heard of a place called Gum.
Must be across the sea.
General known knowledge of this continent is that while there are other lands, Findalego being from one, for example, very, 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 very few people travel between them.
It's across the sea.
But if that's where the rest of them are, that's where we're going, right?
I think Jeek just sort of nods and says, "Faelark, I've given up on my search. I looked for them for years, and this gold place was the end of my searching. Take what I've learned, Faelark, and if you can find them, then just bring them home, Faelark."
I feel like you should join us because all you're gonna do now that you realise that Mr. Faelark is alive, you're just gonna sit here stewing, alone, depressed.
Lee?
It's astute of you, child, but I'm not alone. I have family here. I have a wife.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah, she runs a small leatherworking stall.
No!
Oh my! She did not. And he immediately puts like his puts
Shows his
fucking
wrist.
sleeves up.
And she's like, that's the one! She's loving it.
It's very. She's very talented.
I really hope, like, the previous night, his wife was, like, telling him about, like, the customer that just, like, came last minute kind of thing. And
Fucking arsehole, I was
know,
trying to shut the shop.
He's a fucking dick.
he just wouldn't leave until I made these bracelets.
I think he kind of like looks at you and goes, everything's just coming together, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think I've got an idea.
Oh?
Jeek, there's something else you should know.
He furrows his eyebrows.
I wasn't looking for the rest of the troop by myself, and he's kind of like turning around to make sure it's obvious he's addressing the whole group at this as well. Fitzpatrick found me after what happened.
Oh, Fitz. How is he?
Jeek, it was my fault. The Baron got him.
This Awdern fellow?
Baron Awdern. Fitz was helping me to try and track you guys down. I was getting money however I could and putting all of it into looking for you, hiring people to search for anyone's description, anyone that I could recognise, you know?
I think Jeek takes a moment and is like, those of us who are still around, we have really gone under Faelark.
Oh, fair enough. I got a new nose, see?
I was like, I wasn't going to ask about that, honestly. I hadn't even noticed Faelark. It looks fantastic.
Yeah? You think it's good? Is it good? He turns to, like, Philippe and Grant. Is it good? Is it alright? I can do it?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Oh, no. Nat 1. Sorry.
It's lovely. It's amazing. Fucking Jeek loves it.
Do I get additional confidence for this, which makes me pull it off okay?
Weirdly, yes.
Yes.
It's going to lead to more rejection in the future.
Fuck you, witches. Fitz was helping me to find you, and he got found out. And again, I got away whilst somebody else didn't.
But you're looking for this Awdern fellow now, you say?
Oh, yeah.
I think that Jeek takes a moment and then says, never really liked Fitz, but he doesn't deserve to go like this. But if this Awdern fellow has been...
Oh, really? He like you?
Oh, shit, now I just feel like an asshole.
I love that shit.
I think he just kind of goes, if the Baron came after one of ours, Faelark, you go after him. I want you to go whoop this fellow's ass.
Oh, good, do it.
This is the first time you've ever heard Jake get close to swearing. Unless I've sworn before as Jake, in which case, don't call me up on my continuity errors. Pretend that I bleeped those.
What has that wife been teaching you?
Whoa.
Oh no.
A lot of things, Faelark.
No.
Okay, you know what?
I covered Philippe's ears.
Yeah, I was about to say, so I need to cover Philippe's ears. Like, yes, he'd gone through a brothel, but I'm fairly certain he had his eyes shut at that point.
I think so. It was a while ago.
Look, Will, you'll have to introduce us at some point, but sounds like we've got a bit of work to do.
We were following that Baron to the island. There's a path northeast of the town. Follow that, you'll wind up at the shore. Find Ilya there. Tell her that Jeek sent you. She should be able to... She does me a favour. She'll send you out.
Thank you, Sheik. For being alive and for this.
It was nice to not have to just lie our faces off to NPCs for once. Unless, of course, this guy is going to fucking double cross you. Which, I don't know him from Adam.
Before we came out, I was intending just to not say a thing because I didn't want to get, spotted or anything. But, woofed. My throat's a little dry.
Just, we'll have some warm honey water then. I hear it's fantastic.
He struggles it down. It still doesn't quite get the combination.
And I think Jeek's like, Faelark, whatever happens, I'm going to be here. You have to come back.
Oh, you fucking make sure you're still here.
He nods, he's like, they haven't got this old sly dog this time.
I'm not letting you out of my sight. I
feel like we
I'm
have
gonna
to
have
leave the
to.
room.
I'll be checking in.
He gets a bit of paper out and just like hands it to you. Says, "It's my address if you ever need to write."
Good. I'll keep it close.
Do you know how
I
to
don't
write?
have an address.
When you do, I'll be sure to visit.
You'll be first in line. Presumably these guys will already be there. We tend to move in a pack.
He just smiles and says, "Well, any family of Faelark is family of mine."
Yay, we got a new member of our little gang. Isn't that nice, guys?
I mean, I'm glad you're glad. Like, yeah, I can't not be sus. I've never met him.
No, yeah. Come on, Gran.
What do you expect? I've been living alone for 5 years.
You're not alone anymore, Gran. You're never gonna be alone again.
Oh, I don't like
never
that.
Gonna let you out of my sight.
Oh my god, Philippe. We are sleeping in separate rooms in the India.
That's what you think.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Oh god. Okay, Philippe, it's time to teach you about boundaries.
It's gonna be like... Now every night is Christmas, because Philippe is just not gonna ever sleep again. He's just gonna be staring, waiting for people to wake up.
Oh, I think it's because he sees me when I'm sleeping.
He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you are sleeping.
Yes, those are the words.
You better watch
Anyway,
out.
I
You
feel like
better
this
watch
conversation
out.
has reached its natural climax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we go see boat friend. I miss my boat friend.
Yeah. We'll catch up, Zeke.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do before you head towards the boat?
I guess, if anything, like, try and pull some knowledge about the family name Awdern and just see if there's anything there.
Oh sure, like actual study at the library.
Yeah, the library that we were doing.
Sure. Give me an investigation check. Anyone who wants to
Okay.
try.
Let's all go. I will first get the sheet up.
Oh, that's a 19.
Investigation. Okay. It's only +2. That's a 6.
Al, this dice that you gave me is so good.
Powerful.
I rolled an 18.
Damn.
For some reason, our small dumb boy has become quite smart recently.
Clearly, it's the sea air. Like, he just wasn't doing well in, like, big, like, cities that are landlocked. You
The
know.
smog was stunting his brain growth.
So,
Yeah.
I think that what happens is Faelark is on a fucking mission, you know?
Yeah.
It's not so much that Gran is not able to help, it's just that these two are fucking powering through. They're like, really rapidly
succeeded on
grabbing-
the last 2 rolls. He's a break.
I know, it's just that with this one, you know?
She had to teach us both how to use the Dewey Decimal System first.
But what's happening is like Faelark's very much like, right, I'm looking for this book, this book, this book, this book. You're on a mission right now. And Philippe's just like, whee, running around grabbing everything for you. Eventually, you have a collection of Awdern's family paperwork. His family has been around since around just after the war, and has been pretty quickly since then very prominent in the Daleen scene. Like certain members of his family have served on the council of Daleen, the governing force of this country, and most part he's known for technological advances. He is a scientist above all else. He works in the study of like arcane studies and their applications to science. Anything else you want to know?
And there's no notice of where his family came from before the war, where they just sort of appeared.
No, this is when you first find trace of his family.
What about like aristocratic lands that they inherit? You know, do they have an area where they will generally be found?
No.
That's very strange for landed
Yeah.
gentry.
They have a family home that is in what is known as Ea, which is a rich district of Daleen. It's a gated community where the elite of the city live.
Ah, I'm sure I will have wandered around there.
Yeah, you actually have, I would say, been around those parts. It is very difficult to get entry into. Normally you would have to have some sort of invite in. But I'll say you know a couple of family names of that area as well. His family does not have, per se, like land, but he does own factories in the area and in the city.
Ooh. And there's factories in this town. Do we know what kind of factories they were?
You don't know what kind of factory it is, actually.
Hey, Zeke.
Yes?
What's the factory?
The factory. What's all the factories in this fishy town?
There's not in the town. The closest is... It's a small factory just a little southeast.
What do they produce?
I don't know the technicalities of it. It's mostly just components. It's components for the city's machines.
So we've got a mysterious Baron who is a scientist of magical stuff, and he owns a bunch of factories that produce strange components. This definitely sounds like who we're looking for. Is there like an illustration or anything?
No, there are no illustrations of him.
Maybe we should head to one of these factories and we might be able to find out more.
Oh, it's Fantasy Bezos. Could be a start. I'd worry about poking around too much.
Listen, there's nothing better than an army of disgruntled workers. Or maybe they're not disgruntled. They don't realise that their workers' rights could be being represented.
Ah, damn it. I hate capitalism.
Radicalise the working class!
All of the entire party faces camera.
I just imagine that the second that she yelled at Gran, just left it, like, just ran off with her arms in the air.
Marched out.
Pulled up a balaclava and just set something on fire.
Oh no.
Molotov cocktail in hand.
Sorry, the last thing I want to look up is if there's anything linking the family to the old spooky island of where a school once was.
Simply put, no. Lord Caius's never shows up.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's the island to investigate, which definitely sounds like there's something there, considering it's a site of a giant fantasy explosion and Dragon Age is full of those. We check the factories.
I feel like we should do factories first because they are closer. That's all.
That's fair
And
point,
don't
actually.
require a boat to get across
Yeah.
to.
So we'll do some espionage and then some ruins diving. Cool.
Maybe I can pretend to try and get a job because, small child with nimble fingers, I can reach in and grab anything clogging any gears.
What's the child labour laws in Daleen?
If you can work, you work.
Oh, lax then.
What?
Yeah.
Wowzers.
And that way we can hopefully try and get it with little issue.
Well, we'll see who we meet on the way in. If we have to reenact Shrek 2, we will.
Yes.